What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday was a big day. The AMC earnings call. I hope each and every one of you were on it. It was absolutely amazing. The outlook of AMC, just the way Adam Aaron had talked about us as the shareholders. We're going to go over some of the key points. Also, the House Financial Services Committee meeting, the third one that was yesterday, what Maxine Waters and Gary Gensler were talking about, what it looks like for the future of these hedge funds. We're going to dive into deeper details about that and what it means for us, guys. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss this. For those of you that are new to the channel, all I ask is hit that like button and subscribe to join the family. And if you're interested in joining our private community, first link in the description. We have hundreds of members. We talk stocks and strategies all day long. It's a great place to take your portfolio to the next level. So guys, if you're interested, we'd love to have you come check it out. Let's get into the video. First off, earnings came out yesterday. They missed their EPS, and the revenue actually was a $20 million surprise, which is a good sign. It means more people are getting out there and going over to the movie theaters. I also want to point this out, guys, is that iBorrowDesk is now having AMC as a 25% fee. It's good. It's been a big jump since earlier this morning at an 11%. I think it opened up 11% this morning, all the way up to 25%. Great signs for us. I do want to highlight, I am waiting for this to be approved. They are meeting on NSCC 2021-002, which was the piggyback to the 801 ruling in order to really make this thing go into effect. They are talking about that today. Okay, so I'm waiting to see back when that ruling happens. As you can see, we'll jump over to the price action real quick. We're up almost 5%, and it's finally nice to see out of this downward channel. We've been moving down. It's good. We bounced off that strong line of support, and it going back up. Last time we bounced, we had that 33% increase, which is great news for us. Now, guys, let's get into a couple things I want to talk about. First off, what Adam Aaron said, okay? The share recount is going to be finalized by June 2nd. There are 3.2 million shareholders. So what does that mean? How are they going to make sure that everybody gets accredited? They literally said they were going to have the identification of every single shareholder, which is a good news to help us solidify what is going on with all of these synthetic shares. How are there still shares available to short, and so forth? So whether your broker reaches out to you and asks you to fill out this information or they don't, you really need to do whatever you can in your power. We have some time on our side to make sure that all of us get accounted for. Nothing gets brushed under the rug. That was why their shareholder meeting was pushed back. And it's amazing. Just you could feel by the tone of Adam Aaron that he's 100% on our side. Also mentioning that he's donating to the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund. I just thought it was really, really ironic because, you know, he knows us apes. But next thing I do want to point out, guys, is it was amazing just to hear that they have more cash on hand. Okay, which as a business is very important. More cash on hand than they've ever had in their 101 years. They have enough cash on hand to last till the end of 2022. Okay, and they're also in a better financial position than they've been in almost the last 15 years. So it's crazy when you hear, all right, all of these analysts talk about how AMC is in so much debt and they're hurting and they can't get out of it. Okay, what their earnings and revenue are compared to their EBITDA is totally off, and it's just going to go down, down, down. And then you literally have the CEO of the company come out and say, listen, man, we're in a better position we were in the last 15 years financially from a business standpoint, okay? Because there's two different things. There's one, obviously, how much revenue and what the future outlook, depending on everything that's going on with COVID. And now you have, people streaming, movies, and they're not going to go to the movie theaters. You've got that side, but then you've also got the business fundamental standpoint. And when they look at their business fundamentals and where they stand, they're in a better position than they were in 15 years. I also want to touch back to that, guys, is I literally brought my son to the movie theaters the other day. And I was thinking about this. We've got 3.2 million shareholders, all right? And millions more people have heard about what is going on with not only GameStop, but with AMC. You're building attention. Any attention is good attention. Now, I brought my son to go see a movie. The last time that I went to go see a movie was years ago. Reason being, they ended up putting these nice comfy chairs, all right, lounging recliners in the movie theaters, and I happened to work a little bit too much, so therefore I would fall asleep through every single movie. It's just something I haven't been to. But because of being a part of this movement and because of all the awareness, it really enticed me to go, and I plan on going more. And I'm sure a lot of you guys asked that question, how many times you've been to the movie theaters, or if you've been more because of what is going on. Okay, so that's great news. Any attention and awareness is great for AMC. Next thing I want to talk about, which was the Financial Services Committee meeting yesterday. A couple key things we talked about. There were some individuals literally talking about saying that us as the retail investors are kind of screwing over the game. Maxine Waters and Gary Gensler were really on our side saying, listen, no, that's not the case. It's okay for you to go to your neighbor, okay, and talk about what you're investing in, and literally maybe suggest to your neighbor, hey, listen, I think you should invest in it. That's all that we're doing, except you're my neighbor, even though you're, hundreds or thousands of miles away from me. That's all we're doing on the internet. It's a freedom of speech. He was okay with that. Next thing he also talked about was the fact that Citadel has become a conglomerate. They control too much of the action. And he literally brought up Amazon, okay? What is the number one go-to place where you buy things online? Amazon, okay? And it takes away business from other people. And that's in a way okay, because yes, it might form a monopoly and there might be other issues and there is definitely room for argument, but that's okay because you're just buying a physical product from them. But when you're utilizing a service to monitor a transaction from one individual to another, and you have that big of an influence on it, and you have an entire party that has an open interest on some of those positions, that's when the playing field becomes unlevel. And that's what needs to be looked into further. You need some competition. He talked all about it in the meeting. If you guys haven't, there's a bunch of little clips on YouTube that talk all about it. But when he had said that to me, it was like he was really going to start opening up the eyes of what's been happening, what has happened, okay, and how this cannot continue going forward. Because it's literally been so much hidden behind closed doors that in one sense, having all these different parties, having your market makers, having different broker dealers, having the clearinghouses, all in sense makes the accountability there. But when you have one party controlling a large portion of every entity, that's when it becomes unfair. And they have an open interest in it. They are literally shorting stocks. They're going long on stocks. Whatever they're doing, it doesn't matter, but they have an open interest. That is favoritism, okay? And he brought awareness to it. He said he's going to be utilizing other departments to be able to look into this, to be able to see what they can do, and it's going to help bring the transparency. So that meeting yesterday, on top of the earnings call at the end, and just like the future outlook of where he sees AMC going in the future, I can't wait to see what comes out with more of the 13Fs, more institutions getting into this and, continuing to invest in AMC because, like I said, their outlook from a business standpoint, that was the number one thing that these analysts said, the fundamentals, the fundamentals, the fundamentals. Well, literally the CEO, you heard it from his mouth. He's in a better spot they've been in the last 15 years. So, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your comments down below. Let me know anything else you saw, you heard in the earnings call, or you saw on the House Committee's live stream yesterday that I missed. I'd love to hear it, and I'll see you in the next one.